right, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we give live, real live conversations and have live conversations about music education, band talk, band culture, and more. Let me quickly introduce the panel. On my top right, we got Rick.
Season's greetings to all.
Down in my bottom right, we got Mario Smith. He was on that mute daddy. All right. And then
Smitty.
Smitty. On the left corner, we got Maya.
And on my phone, yeah, boom. I'm starting early. Where am I?
I'm crazy. It's crazy about the fact that you even just put that on your phone right now.
It's saved. I got it.
So you just went ahead and locked that in.
Yep. I'm gonna find a picture with him with a Norfolk State shirt on and save that one.
I think I got one.
Yeah, give me that. I need that.
Good Lord.
Was walking across the practice field in 02.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all look old, man. I make sure I ain't gonna get on y'all bad side.
Maya, where you going? Look at all cute. Where you going? You got a date after this?
No.
Oh,
Say hi.
Oh, look at who was that little furry, beautiful thing?
Oh God.
Goofy.
Sophie.
Oh, I thought you said Goofy. I'm like, well, you don't like your dog.
Maya, all I'm gonna say is just don't die alone. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh Lord.
Man, some grits.
My dog.
Yes, people. Yeah, if y'all don't know what that meant, don't worry about it. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. First of all, we had one heck of a weekend. A lot of battles that went down, a lot of games that went down, actually. And so real quick, who played this weekend? I know Alabama State played this weekend, Southern played this weekend. I think Southern and Miles played this weekend, right?
Yeah, and then Jackson and Tennessee State.
Jackson, Tennessee State. So yeah, a lot of great things going on this weekend. So Mario, did you see any of those this weekend?
Man, I watched that Southern and Miles fifth quarter, bro. I didn't see the game, man, but Miles need to go back, figure it out, bro. They gotta go back, figure it out. It was getting thrashed, bro. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. Miles has a lot of stuff to work on too, man. Just like, and it's not to shade their program or nothing like that, because I've heard them actually sound better than they sound this year. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there, man. But they didn't do their best against Southern. I tell you that. You know. Okay. So, but I saw that also Tennessee State. Tennessee State is like the band. If Southern is up there, Tennessee State's right there, bro. Like Tennessee State is having a great year. That Loki, man, that shit sounds great, dog. So I'm loving Tennessee State. Yeah, man.
I think I will say, I think it's a beautiful thing that people are writing stuff out of the box now.
Right.
You know, I am a very, very big advocate on that. You know, ask Rick, I'm always writing something that's left field. That somebody won't be thinking of. There's one song that I still want to make sure I get on somebody's stand. I know we ran through it in the band room, but I'm not gonna put it out there because I don't want anybody to get any ideas. But I'm definitely an advocate for writing stuff that's out of the box. So that's great. Rick, any thoughts? Were you able to watch any of the games from this past weekend?
I was able to watch them all.
Uh-oh.
You know I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
The realest Jackson against Tennessee State. The realest post I saw was in the Uncut group. Somebody said, right now, Jackson 0-2. Yeah, I'm sorry. That shit had me laughing, but it's just the truth. I'm sorry, man. Tennessee State put about they went halfway up the leg foots in the ass on them this weekend. And then the worst part about it was they're gonna play that last Rap Daddy, and it was nice. I ain't gonna lie, that last chart that Jackson played they was bringing it, and then they're gonna try to hit the Who Do I Turn To at the end like they smashed them the whole time. I'm sitting there like, dog, it's so disingenuous because y'all just got all types of foots put up in y'all. I don't know about the dancers, Maya, give us that, but the band wasn't even close. Tennessee State, I think the thing that people are starting to realize now about Tennessee State is how consistent they've been. Like Tennessee State is always good. I remember back in the day, Mario, you remember this when we were in school. Everybody thought you heard Tennessee State was playing The Price is Right, and they used to rock that Price is Right. Do 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 do. Go look it up, y'all. Tennessee State Price is Right. So
I got a whole experience with Tennessee State, bro. Like it was July 10th, 2001 when I decided to not go to Tennessee State and go to Norfolk State, dog. Literally 2 weeks before band camp started. I was like so going to I had talked to Prof at Tennessee State and everything. I was Tennessee State, bro. You can't be no baritone player coming from Cass and not go to TSU at that time, man. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I was going there. And then Doc hit me with the Smiths. So he came in there and swooped me on out. Yep. But yeah, man, that's how I went. I got mad love for AOB, man.
And Jackson's a good band, man. I think the biggest thing that's holding Jackson back right now is the song selection.
Tennessee they got a better book. They need a better book, bro.
Like, yeah, man. Like it's not the playing. Like overall, they sound fine. They sound like Jackson has sounded over the last couple of years. I think Mr. Little is doing great work, or Dr. Little, I'm not sure. I think that he has done a good job of changing the timbre of the band, and I think they play well. I just think they need to step the creativity up. So that's that one. Southern and Miles. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. They cracking on us. Oh my God. But Southern was Southern. You know, I think we always gonna say that. You know, they didn't do anything that wasn't Southernish. Thought they they sound fine. They sound like Southern. Same consistency you expect from them. Miles. Oh man. And I know Brother Snipes, man, good brother. Oh man, it was a rough weekend. I couldn't get past that Brandy song and them mellophones, and oh my God. I'm like, does anybody at Miles own a tuner? Like, not use the tuner.
Throw them shits.
Right. Y'all got cell phone. Y'all better download tuner energy, man. But
everybody has that on their stand, bit.
Right. No, not there. Not there. They got a picture of a tuner on the stand because it won't being used. Man. So that was the first. Yeah, his intonation was just all over the place.
It was tough, man. It was rough all night.
They were trying to outblow Southern, which is the mistake that many bands make when they get there. They lose the character of their sound and try to be them. And I think that happened again. Song selection again. And I think that's really the strength that Southern has. Yeah, they sound like Southern. You know, they sound fine. But for some reason, man, the songs that they play just hit different. And people, you know, they really are relatable to people. I didn't think this was their best song selection, but it was damn sure better than Miles College. So Miles, like Mario said, go back to the drawing board. That won't it, homie.
Yeah, dog.
And then and Julian, I got to give an honorable mention, man. Right now in the lead for me, this is just me in particular. Most improved band of 2021 is going to Alabama State. Alabama State.
I said it. Remember, I told you. I said it. State, I told you. Go check them out.
Yeah, between Alabama and, you know, we can throw them in there a little bit, Texas Southern. They are probably the two most improved bands that I've heard. Like, I have not heard Alabama State sound like this. Yeah, I know some of the alumni will be mad with us and all that. I'm sorry, y'all. Your band ain't sound like it sounds this year. And I think that the band is doing some great things. I'm anxious to see where this band goes. Kudos to Alabama State and the directors there. I don't know who they are, but y'all are doing some great work, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing them through the season for sure.
Let me really quickly say something about Alabama State. So,
before you go, man, we want to make sure we get Maya in here, man. She ain't get a chance to say her due.
Well, no. I'm not even gonna be long. I'm not even gonna be long. Okay. These two things. The first thing I want to say is, one, I had to call Rick and told him literally on the phone, like, bro, I have never in my life heard Alabama State like this. And Rick said it. Rick said it. I got to say it again. Listen, Alabama State has some good things there in that program. Don't get me wrong, and they have in the past, but it's never sounded good. Never sounded good. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. Matter of fact, I'm not sorry. It's never sounded good, right? This year, by far,
I don't know about that.
nah, bro. I'm sorry. This year, by far,
2017, I like Alabama State. Sound good in 2017.
I disagree, but okay, that's fine. But
We played them in 17. They didn't sound good.
exactly.
Well, maybe
But
I heard him against Norfolk State, so that's as much as I heard him. So I guess that's about it. Queen City.
But this year by far has got to be the best I have ever heard them. And I want to make sure I give one big shout out to one person. This guy. I don't know if you can see him in the corner up there. Mr. Justin to the Sky drum major. He is the drum major. He made the drum major at Alabama State. And you know he was the drum major previously at what's the name of the school, Rick? We did the podcast with
yeah, I can't remember.
But
yeah,
and I'm only giving him a shout out because of this one reason, right? He is he's not black, obviously. He's a young white man who was
Jeff Davis.
Jefferson Davis. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff Davis. He's a young white guy who was and you know, musician and all that. But he's entering into a space that we know that is predominantly African American, right? He's going to an HBCU program. And one thing that I've appreciated about him, even seeing him at Jeff Davis and now seeing him at Alabama State, is he just gets it. He just does it, and he does it very well. I think you could have put him in any program, and I think that he would have done a great job of just, you know, conforming and doing a great job of being a great drum major. So I want to give a shout out to him because he gets it. But I want to talk about that too. I want to bring that up. And I know. That's why eventually
I'm a disagree, but
me too. I'm like,
I know why. And there's a reason why. And I get that reason because when I thought about it, you know, what he did, it made me want to think about a topic. And I don't know, I may throw that in here tonight because it's something that I do want to actually discuss. But I did want to definitely give a big shout out to Alabama State because they definitely sound a lot different than what they've sound before. All right, Maya, let's see what you got. She's saying what's up. What you want? All right, go ahead.
Didn't Alcorn play this weekend?
I think they did some type of performance this weekend.
That I was looking at were from this past weekend, or if they were old. But all dancer wise, I think. Let's see. I mean, okay, so prior to past years, maybe what is this, 2021, maybe between like 2018 and well, maybe like 2016, 2017 up until now. Gigi is like, I don't know, I've been more and more impressed with them. Prior to that, I wasn't really feeling them, but I don't know, for whatever reason this year, they're definitely jamming. Let's see who else. The thing is, the whole situation of being at Auburn, they didn't have much room to do much of anything. So I guess that's just like, I don't know. Let's see who else. Miles, I didn't really take a good look at the Golden Stars this week. Honestly, I kind of forgot about them. In 2010, 2010, when I was making my decisions of where actually I was going to go, I was looking at them and I was feeling them, but I haven't kept up with them within the past 10 years. Who else? Jackson State. Okay, so just Jay says the videos that I saw. I don't know. I'm not opposed. I think that they're field routine. I think they're finally getting back to that traditional or closer to a newer version of the traditional J set style, which I think people have been waiting on, appreciating. So that's always good. Who else? Who am I missing?
You already mentioned them. Yeah. You mentioned Southern already, didn't you?
Tennessee State.
No. Oh, Tennessee State. So Southern, I don't think I haven't talked about them this week. Improvement from last week, definitely. However, I don't know, it's still not, I won't say lackluster. That's aggressive. It's just still not comparable to what we've seen in the past. On the field, they did. They brought out the partner, the drum major, and I think it was symbols or different guys from the band. They did up their partner dance this week. I think it's kind of earlier in the season that they did that, but I mean, it was cute. They did what they needed to do. Tennessee State, sophisticated lady, very, 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 very impressed. I don't know what Miss Diana's doing. I don't know if maybe like I don't know what I took over leadership, if she's just a part of the staff or whatever the case may be, but you can definitely tell that whether it's the captain, whether it's the staff, or whether it's a comprehensive mixture of everything, what they're doing over there, they're definitely putting them on the map and giving them a shift and giving the girls a run for their money. So I'll be interested in doing for the rest of the season. Very quick capture of what.
Julie, I think it would be beneficial, man. Every week we just put up our list of our top 5 bands, and Maya can do her top 5 dancers. Because if I had to do it right now, I'm going Tennessee State, I'm going Southern, I'm going Alabama State, I'm going, and this is just from this weekend. Obviously it'll change week to week. I'm going Jackson, and down at the bottom I'm going Miles, just from the groups I've seen.
Okay.
So
yeah, actually, same kind of list for myself too.
Okay, I think that's fair. Well, since we're in the mood of that, Maya, what about yourself? What do you think?
Unmute. My top. My number 1, I would say sophisticated ladies. 2, I would say Golden Girls. 3, I would say Jackson State. 4, I would say Southern. 5, I would say I don't remember. I got to go 4.
Who is sophisticated lady and Golden Girls, man?
Sophisticated lady.
Tennessee State.
And then Golden Girls is Alcorn.
Yeah. Okay. Look at me knowing the look at me knowing the names.
So proud.
Right now. I mean, period.
I only know Tennessee State because I was gonna go to Tennessee State, so I knew mad stuff about their band. So
I guess you got scared and started running. All right, so
yeah, that's exactly what it was. Weak.
All right, man. So yeah, man. So I think it was a great weekend. We got another weekend coming up. And so we're gonna keep our eyes on it and see what's happening out there in the band community. So yeah, I thank you guys for your input. Let's get ready. Let's move on and really dive in, and let's get to talking before Mario falls. All right, so
yeah, long band rehearsals, dog.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna start talking about a situation that kind of happened this weekend. If you all didn't know, Nathan Hamer was actually released this weekend. I think it was this past week. So Nathan Hamer was released this week. So shout out to Nathan Hamer. Oh, hold on. Let me go ahead and I want to do it right, man. But when I looked at the fact that he was released. And then I really started looking at Southern show and really quick, just to kind of go back to the shows, I do want to show a lot of love and respect to Southern, man, because I think they've done 3 different drills already. I don't think they've repeated the same drill. So I do want to give a shout out to Southern. I want to give out a shout out to Texas Southern as well for their tribute to everybody. A lot of the people did tributes to 9/11, of course. And so I do want to shout out to everybody who's done those tributes to 9/11 and things like that. But I was really just kind of impressed with the fact that I think Southern has changed up their show and they have not been doing the same show. And I thought that was very interesting. But outside of that, though, one of the things that I started listening to was the arrangements. And as it relates to arrangements, I'm starting to feel like a lot of them are very, very similar in nature. And it kind of goes back to something that we kind of talked about before, but I think at this point it's starting to run rampant, more or less because I thought about a conversation that we had, even just with Maya. And so my question is, and if I need to, rephrase it, don't worry, I will. But my question is, are we in search of Southern? Are we in search of Southern? Meaning, are we trying to get or trying to be what Southern is, and in some type of way? Are we trying to be what Southern is? So are we in search of Southern? Mario.
Yeah, I think that format so like to my understanding, let me say this first. I wasn't preface this part. I didn't get a chance to research this, but to my understanding, and anybody in the comments or who's listening can fact check me on this one because I don't know for sure. But to my understanding, that structure, that marching band structure, the way we do like rap tunes, like the drum break, um, either Jackson or Southern, from my knowledge, were the schools to kind of like establish that. And I feel like that's been this standard format for most of the songs for so long. And now that people aren't playing, they're playing all these trap music and all this stuff that already is in the same keys. A lot of these songs are in the same keys. They are written in similar formats. It's like it does sound familiar. And one of the things that shout out to Norfolk State, because one of the things I do love about Norfolk State is clarity. And shout out to Alabama State and Tennessee State for clarity. I feel like you can hear parts and things that like moving things that are happening in the song. With Southern, they're loud, they're clear-ish sometimes. I just feel like sometimes it just sounds so loud and it's just like full. So it's just like, oh, that's cool, it's good. But sometimes these songs, I don't even know what these songs are. And maybe that's like me being an old man too. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm disconnected from some of that music. So when it comes to these arrangements, it does feel like you're listening to the same thing from bands over and over and over. Fifth quarters feel like kind of like fifth quarters used to be like, oh, we won't whip out this song nobody can return, like non-returnables. Like that's what I thought a fifth quarter was supposed to be about. Like, but I feel like everybody's doing rap songs in the fifth when I thought rap songs were supposed to be for the game because they could be stopped at any point where you can go to a drum break and then bring it back around. But people doing the rap songs in the fifth quarter, and I'm like, that's kind of lame to me. So drum breaks for a song in the fifth quarter that's not an actual drum feature to me seems kind of mundane. It's like pointless. So Southern has been doing that for a long time, and a lot of people are all adding to that and just doing that same thing. Now, like I said, man, fact check me if I'm wrong, but I thought it seemed like from my understanding, they kind of started that. If it wasn't them, it was probably Jackson, but one of the two kind of started that kind of style of playing, like crank up, go to the drum break, tuba drum break, come back in, like it's just like, I don't know. So yes, that's the answer is yes. I do feel like people are in search of that sound, Like Miles, you talking about Miles earlier, and I make this quick. Miles is the type of band to me. You were talking about like Miles' sound. What is Miles' sound? Like, I don't know. There's no Miles sound to me. Miles is like Southern in Alabama. Like that's like, it's just like sounding the same approach. There's no contours. There's no moving lines. There's no focus on we're not focused on any music aspects that are really going to stick out as different in any of those bands or any of those things. That's why Alabama State is right? Alabama State is sticking out right now.
You hungry? I don't know what you.
Yeah, a little bit. Alabama State. Alabama State is sticking out right now a little bit to me, and Tennessee State is too, because that sound, the sound is there. People know good sound. That's why Norfolk did well at the battle. They may not have been the most entertaining band, but you can't deny the way they sound. Bottom line.
All right. Rick, are we in search of Southern?
So to answer your question, in my opinion, the answer is yes and no. I want to start where Mario ended. Yes, I've got to hit my Maya tonight, Only thing I need is that little swoop daddy.
I'm about to say you got to get the hair swoop daddy.
I get that
Swoop daddy.
Right. But I gotta hit the Maya tonight because the answer, in my opinion, is yes and no. I think to start where Mario ended, Norfolk, like you said, they may not have been the best band there, but I mean, as far as entertainment, but it was no denying they were the best sounding band in attendance. The problem is, and the reason why I say yes is because now that Norfolk has done that, you're not going to see them on the main stage again. And I think where people are chasing Southern is the notoriety that Southern gets and the past that Southern gets when they're not that great Southern that everybody expects to see. There are many videos online where Southern was great. One that comes to mind is that battle where everybody was using that one trumpet player that like it was like in that meme that it was going around. M. Jackson, it was a whole bunch of bands in there. There are always, examples, but they get a pass that no other band gets. And I think that other bands want that same luxury to not have to be perfect all the time. And I think that in the nature of our business, they get, Julian and I, he's heard this a million times. I call Southern the Blue Devils of HBCU bands.
That makes sense.
Like super consistent, always considered in the top 3 bands, always good talent at the university. Like, I mean, it's just true. You don't have to like Southern to understand that you aren't going to out Southern. So from that standpoint, yes. Also, from the standpoint of now that HBCU band has become identified with who plays the loudest, as Mario was saying, yes, they're searching Southern. I remember being in school before I even knew who Southern was. I had heard people talking about them like, man, they just play super loud. They don't play with no musicality. Because when I went to Norfolk, that's what was important. Being able to add nuance to music, being able to do a big crescendo like the one we did in Half Crazy in 02.
Right.
You go watch that video. To me, that's the highlight of the show, that and the technicality of Hot in Here.
Right. I was about to say that. Right. Yeah.
Being able to play with articulation. Everybody in the horn line double tongue. Like that was normal to us. So that was what's important. Now is, man, you got to blow that hole, and that's what people care about. So from that standpoint, yes. The reason I say no is because there are bands that still hold these things we were just talking about, Mario, to be true. Bethune-Cookman. A lot of people always talk about how boring they are and all this. Ain't nobody playing ballads better than Bethune-Cookman. Nobody. Right. Nobody. Not one band in this country, in my opinion, plays ballads better than Bethune-Cookman. From timbre to musical nuance, like they are the king of ballads. FAMU. I don't know many people that can outplay marches better than FAMU. There's a lot of bands that are trying to do things differently. I just think that because the standard has been raised that Southern is what everybody should be, those bands don't necessarily get the credit that they do. And we talked about small bands, what DeLynn is doing at North Carolina Central. Their drum line is one of the best drum lines in the country. Kudos to Dante. I don't know if Dante's still there or not, but
no, he's not there no more. He's at high school. But yeah.
But he was in. I was about to say he was
there for a while to build that up. Yeah,
he was influential in establishing that program, man. So, I think that if bands start getting credit again for not sounding like Southern, then bands won't be chasing Southern. But if the gauge of what's good and what's not is specifically who plays the loudest and who has the best arrangement of a song that they play it the loudest, then yes, everybody will be chasing them. And it's just the way it is, man. I'm sure right. Yeah.
And that just, sorry to interrupt you right there, bro. Like that's the whole idea of letting people the culture thing, like who's from our culture, and then these people who don't have musical background or whatever. We used to seem like we appreciated the differences of bands. Now we want everything to kind of sound the same, and it's the same thing on music. If you listen to a lot of radio songs, everything sounds the same. And marching bands are starting to do the same thing because they're playing the same stuff on the radio like we did back in the day. But music sound different back in the day. You could hear a song from different artists and it had a different feel, and you put it on the field or you put it in the stands and it gave you a different, like invited you to do more with the arrangements. Now it's not quite the same. So I totally agree.
And think about it this way too, Mario, and then I'll get out of your way, Mario. Think about it like this. Part of the reason that the rap daddies have really taken over is because they're easy. It's easy to play a minor chord as loud as you can.
Right.
As you get that third in the right place, you can play in tune or up in the right place on the minor key, but down in the major key, man, you can play that as loud as you want, and you can. It's very little effort there. And then B, I remember when we were in band, like you said, Mario. Man, y'all remember when A&T played that Slim Cutter Calhoun, and we were all like, man, that shit is rocking. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom,
yeah.
I remember how like all of us was like, man, that joint got rock. We can't even. Yeah, middle finger
you. Yep.
Yeah. And then It's Okay. We played that one in Norfolk, and our arrangement wasn't great. But like that to me, that's when them rap daddies really started taking off. Because back then we were playing Sweet Love. We were playing Sweet Love every fifth quarter, and Can't Hide Love. Like, boy, we'll love you to death back in the day, boy. We love you till we can't love you no more. We give you a kiss.
We were the Earth, Wind, and Fire Kings.
Hey, bro. Yeah. And then we hit that shaft, and that was the talk of the town for a while. 01, Mario, when we hit that Contagious.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Like, all the stuff they got credit back in the day was love songs, man. Who could sound the best? Now is, or I hate you. I hate you so much, and I'm gonna steal your girl, Mr. Steal Your Girl. That's all people want to hear. So.
You sound like an old ass man, bro.
I do, bro. Hey,
that's true.
Girl,
right? So,
old ass man.
Maybe it's different with the dancers because over here with Maya.
Yeah, tell us what you think, Maya.
Yeah, Maya. So, Maya, are we in search of Southern?
I mean, yeah, the band as a whole. I think, especially with Black people, we like clout. We like to be gaudy. We like to be flashy. And we like to be loud. And I think that those are all things, as respectfully as possible, I think that those are all things that Southern has been known for and what they portray. And that's what I think about when I think of it. Large fan base, the whole camaraderie of it all. Solely in the context of the movie, Southern is the Morris Brown and drumline, right? From the band director all the way down, right? Like, we should be playing that. And then everybody else is hit them with a little Flight of the Bumblebee. You know what I'm saying? So
we got that baton and shit.
And so I think that Southern gives, or has been known to give, year over year over year. I mean, they already have the clap, they already have the foundation, and people just want to be a part. At the end of the day, the Blacks just want to be a part. They want to be able to be
Black people.
They want to perform. Like, we like to just do shit, and that's what stuff does. So, absolutely, and until there is no until there is something about that entertainment factor, that showboating factor that they have, and they do very, very well. There's no, just like Brownie, you were saying earlier, like when people go to Mumford or whenever they see Southern, it's like, okay, well, shit, let me play as loud as I possibly can, or let me outperform or whatever, because at this point, it's just like a level that you're trying to reach. Now, is it the level? Is it the prominent level? Is it the correct level? That's a different type of conversation. But in terms of just the overall factors that we're talking about, yeah, people just want to be able to, I don't know, Southern exemplifies freedom in the context of band to me. So people want that. So absolutely.
I love your answers. You always have like these very sophisticated, nuanced answers.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you this, Maya. What about from the dancers' perspective? Because like Black Foxes was definitely not trying to chase no dancing dolls. So what about from that perspective?
And before you answer that, I actually was going to ask the same question, but I was going to say something else.
Mhm.
I remember when Southern played A&T, and I remember Golden Delight prior to Southern playing A&T. I remember Golden Delight after Southern playing A&T, and that's when Golden Delight started hitting them glove daddies and all that kind of stuff. I remember that very vividly. So, definitely. What are your thoughts on that in the dancer's perspective?
So that's a hard one because there are some things. So we're talking about the gloves themselves. If we're talking about the overall look of it, the dancing dolls have been known and have done the white gloves forever and ever and for the longest time. Even when Miss Shawn was dancing, they were longer back then, but still the whole aesthetic of the white glove. Now, if we're talking on a dance basis, if we're talking about structure, white gloves are utilized to be able to bring, just like spats and gloves in the band, they're used to bring a look and to bring attention to the arm or attention to what you're doing, to the hand rather. And so, I don't know. But yes, I think that even across this is hard. Even across different dance lines, there is still that thought of wanting to be prominent. When you think about conversations of dancers, especially when we're talking about HBCUs, and even more so when we're talking about the swag, the dancing dolls are always number one or number two. That's just off top, and I think that it comes in essence. They have always had a larger foundation. They've always had a larger platform. And when you think about Louisiana in itself and everything that comes to that, the whole state is based off of or is attributed to or funnels up to the thought of Southern. There's not many other states where you have pretty much just one university or one school that everybody is homegrown on. And so I think that has a lot to do with it too. And then when you think about, I don't know why it's leaving me, but Thanksgiving, what's the game every year for Thanksgiving? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Bayou Classic.
Yes. When you think about that and the stage that it has on its own, of course, you are, I forgot about Gremlin. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Gremlin is in the same state, and I literally just forgot about them that quick.
Don't worry, everybody forgets about Gremlin. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, sure, but you see what I'm saying, though. Like,
that's because they're not good. I can see if we were talking about a band that was. Oh, why everybody gasped when I said? Did I say something that was not true?
No, I think in terms of the dancer perspective, I think that there are things that people do draw or hit on. I think that if we're being honest, the dolls have been doing technique for a long time now. It's gotten gradually more prominent, but they've always done technique, and a lot of the girls weren't doing that. So I think that's something that they've drawn or we've drawn from. But yeah, overall, I think that it starts with the platform itself and being able to be highlighted. They've done parades, they've done this, they've done that, so they've already had that the platform for people to see them. And then if you add the entertainment factor and everything else that we've already talked about on top of it, what we're talking about, dancers or the band itself, it's the same thing.
Okay. Having this conversation and hearing some of you guys, as a matter of fact, man, if you're in here right now, go ahead and smash that like button. Just go ahead and do that. It doesn't take long. Just hit the button. All right. But while we're talking about that, though, something just popped in my head while we were having this conversation. I think, Rick, you hit on it. And it's not enough young folks in here to be able to have this conversation, but I think that we can have this conversation amongst ourselves. Why is it that whenever we in that mindset of knowing that we're about to play Southern, we change who we are? Why is that? Why does that happen?
Because man, when people play Southern, they know that there is a certain expectation in that battle. In order for somebody to be able to say to have other people say that they beat Southern, they have to be able to beat Southern at what Southern is great at. So, like, for instance, I mean, we taught at PV. PV's band got gradually better and better and better over the years that we were there to the point that where they are now, where they have, almost a 400 piece band. Like they're doing well. But nobody knew the traditions of PV. I didn't even know who PV was before I was interested in getting the job. I ain't gonna lie to you, Mike.
Smitty.
Like, I mean, it's just the truth. I didn't know what PV was. I had never heard PV band in my life. I know
Hey,
there was tradition there.
I grew up in Houston, bro, and I can tell you right now, I had absolutely no interest in. Matter of fact, I was gonna end up going to Texas Southern before I went to PV. So
those are big words.
I know. I mean, I don't mind being honest about it. PV when I was at Willow Ridge, it just didn't. PV just didn't appeal to me. I'm sorry.
So I mean, but it's the same thing with Norfolk, man. A lot of people had never even heard Norfolk before. Better yet, knew who they were.
Yeah.
And especially when I was in the band, my rookie year in Norfolk State's band was 2000. Norfolk State band didn't really start taking off to 99. I know some of the alumni are going to cuss me out at homecoming. Prior to 99, you had 88, which was awesome. 88 Norfolk State is awesome. The first year they did war. There's 1 year, like 94, 95, Norfolk was decent. But I'm sorry, y'all. Hampton ran home when it came to band. And so prior to 99, Norfolk had no national presence whatsoever. And then Dr. Sanford got there and we really took off. We played Texas Southern. We did. So I say all that to say what is traditionally good at other schools is irrelevant when you play Southern. And I think that's the reason why they always are considered to be one of the best is because in order to be considered great above them, you're going to have to beat them at what they're good at. And I don't know many people that can do that. That's why the boombox is so big, is because, in my opinion, those two bands are so similar to one another. They do a lot of things the exact same way. Obviously, the dancers dance a little differently. I think Jackson has the better drum majors, even though I like that little easy daddy that's suddenly hitting. But, other than that, the bands sound pretty similar to one another. So, go ahead, Mario.
I got a little bit of a different take on it. I kind of think that you can beat Southern. And because I don't look at them. I mean, historically I think FAM is the shit. Like I think historically FAM is the shit, and everybody was chasing that.
And then at one time,
right? That's what I'm saying. So it's
before you go, let me rephrase that. It just depends on what region you were in. Right.
So like I didn't grow like when I was coming up, even at Cass, we was listening to Jackson, Tennessee State, and FAM. People was listening to Southern, but I wasn't really listening to Southern like that. I got to college. I mean, I knew about Southern, but I wasn't really checking for Southern that hard in high school. I was listening to Jackson a lot, and FAM, and Tennessee State. And those are the bands that I was really checking out more than anybody else. And I'll say this, Tennessee State has had some great matchups against Southern in the past. Just because they had a great book. I feel like that matchup that Southern had against BCU could have taken that because they sound superior, but their book is whack as hell. They don't play music that's getting anybody up. Their music it doesn't take you somewhere outside of the ballads. The rest of that music it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, JW Pepper, feature tunes that they pulled offline or something like. It just don't sound like something from a black college, in my personal opinion. So it didn't have any type of funk to it. Double deduction, right? So, and I'm saying like, you take like when Norfolk was sitting right next to Southern in the stands at the battle, Norfolk was still Norfolk though. They was still sounding like Norfolk to me. They didn't sound like they was trying to be Southern. They just sound like Norfolk. I'm saying that some bands, not every band is trying to do that, but I feel like in the SWAC, every band is trying to sound like Southern. That's what I feel like. In the MEAC, they don't see Southern. They're not even up against Southern enough to try to do that. Most of these bands don't even have the chops to even sound like that in the first damn place because they don't play like that enough. You got to have the chops to do that shit. Otherwise, you can come so out of character that you're going to sound like total shit. Anyway. Right. That's what I'm saying. Well, old Miles to me has some chops, but the music, the book in itself to me has to be dope. The years that people love Jackson over Southern, because the music, the arrangements was dope. Like they had the songs that you felt more connected to. The year, I think, was it 2014, 13, one of those years, they had a crazy boombox classic. And what I'm saying is basically, long story short, is that when you can be yourself and still out Southern. I know Southern people like, oh, we the Kings, and all that shit. And it's funny because we always talk about looking at this as like a hierarchy thing. I think if we're trying to out Southern, yes, they're the kings of that. You can't out Southern, but if you do what you do well, the hell yeah, you can be better than them. They're not like the greatest band of all time. That's bullshit. I don't agree with that, because I'll take 98 Fam or 88 Fam over a lot of bands because I like the way they sound. Now,
98 Fam, 95.
Right. If you talking about some blowing shit, I'm gonna take some Southern bands, right, or I'm gonna take a Jackson band, or but if you're talking about book and song selection and different type of variations, I'm gonna take Tennessee State for some stuff because I like them. Everybody got a little bit something different, man. And I don't put them on a pedestal to say that they're unbeatable. That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't think anybody said that, but Maya, that's the reason why I love PV. That's the reason why I loved PV, because like you said, Mario, most of the swag was chasing Southern. In my opinion, especially what we were doing, and I know Prophet was the same, PV is not trying to be nobody but PV. And every band has phases, because Mario, you know this too. Like Norfolk has some phases where after
09?
Yeah, well, them damn
09.
Yeah.
09.
Yeah, like they were trying to sound like Southern, and then they honed that back in and became Norfolk again, and they sound like themselves now.
I agree with that. That post we just got about the Southern drumline,
bro,
absolutely trash.
Bro,
absolutely trash to me.
Bro, what's going on, homie?
I do not like that drumline at all, man. They are trash, man.
And that's the thing. But yeah, that's the thing I loved about PV, man, is that we could, traditionally PV was different from them. They don't look like them. They didn't sound like them. And that was the thing I really harped on when I was there. Like, have pride in who you are instead of trying to be somebody else. And to me, that was the years where we really hit that when I was there. And some old PV years, those were the best years, in my opinion, of the band, especially when we played them. Like, you can say what you want, even in that uncut group. Somebody put in there, hey, Southern, y'all ready to admit that in 2015 y'all caught that L from PV? Because they did. They ain't gonna never say
it. They will never admit that. That will never be something that comes out of their mouth. They keep.
I gotta go look at the clips. I don't even know. I gotta go check it out.
Go check it out. And they're gonna use, it was homecoming, man. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so if you're just tuning in, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unscripted, unfiltered conversations about music education, band culture, HBCU band culture, and more. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and also please make sure that you hit that like button. Look, man, it ain't nothing but a like button. All you got to do is click it, and we good. That's all we got to do. It don't take that long to click the like button. All right.
Can we change the picture for the show? Because it's just got this on there. We can erase Ken and put Quan on there. Put Quan on there.
Well, first of all, Ken's not even on the joint. The only one who is just us four. It's right. Me, you, Maya, Mario. So we right now we good. We gonna
can we take Quan picture at the bottom and put a digital piece of tape and just put it at the
bottom? masking tape.
Quan just like this.
I knew he was gonna do that, bro. The Satchmo shits.
There's a picture online, y'all, of me and Mario doing that at the consortium.
Villanova.
Right.
That's how all Louis Armstrong's pictures was taken.
What up, Quan?
What up, Quan? Yeah, there you go.
What's up, family? What's up?
Quan's gonna get his Rockefeller chain at some point, man. All right. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. All right, so we were talking about Southern University and are we trying to be Southern and catch up to Southern? And when we're talking about that, a lot of the things that end up happening is we talk about arrangements, and in arrangements, we also have to have the conversation about arrangers, right? Because what's happening and what I see to be happening a lot is that we have a lot of these young guys from these schools, the Southerns, the Alcorns, the Miles, and all these guys who found a computer and was able to access not found a computer, right?
Found a computer.
This is 1995, but was able to find a computer and find Finale or Sibelius, and was able to click a whole bunch of buttons in there, and it sounds good on the computer. And they throw it in front of a band, and because they've doubled a whole bunch of parts, double some mellophone parts and trumpet parts and things like that, they think they're the gods of arrangers. And what ends up happening, and what I'm seeing in the culture, is that these arrangers end up thinking they would be top educators. So, the question on the table is arrangers versus educators. Does one mean they are strong enough to be the other?
Hell no.
Yeah, Maya.
Go ahead, Maya. You go ahead and kick that off.
No.
Well,
So-
go ahead, Maya. You got it.
You can teach craft. Craft can be taught. Personality and willingness cannot, right? So you can't. I can't tell you how. I can tell you how to extract the thoughts out of my head, or I can go ahead and do it myself. But I mean, all this to say, everyone is not a teacher. Everyone does not have the ability to appeal to others. Everyone does not have the ability to construct things in a way in which others are able to pick it up. So, or to the transfer of information. Everyone does not have that gift. And I think to be a true educator, that is something that you have to have. You have to be able to appeal to others. You have to be able to understand different personalities, and you have to be able to attract, motivate, and be able to guide people. Arranging is a craft. It's a skill set nonetheless. Possibly it can be taught, it can be enhanced, but just because you have one does not mean that you have the other. Just because you can write some shit down on paper, just because you can make.
Don't nobody be writing it on paper now, but go ahead.
Well, you know what I mean. If we all in the, I forget the name of the program, but y'all know what I mean. Putting treble clefs and shit on things. You got.
She got real Texas on your
All
ass.
right.
I mean, listen, what they teach that in, I don't know if it's music theory, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that is something that can be taught or that can be carried out. Everyone is not, just last week we were talking about who the best teachers that we've experienced or legends within the music community. And I don't think they're legends because they knew how to arrange. Two, that was something that was an added part of their skill set. But that's not what they're known for. They're known by the effect that they had, the lasting effect, the lasting approach that they were able to provide. That's what an educator does. So arranging, sure, and no disrespect. Well, like it takes a massive amount of skill, a massive amount of talent to be able to do so. But I definitely don't think a good arranger equates to a good educator, or vice versa. I can be able to teach you, or I can show somebody how to dance, but doesn't mean that I can make them a good dancer. If I don't know if I'm able to flip that back, but that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Quan, since you just now walking in the room, you
Period, Jordan.
Arrangers versus educators. Does one mean they are strong enough to be the other?
No, not at all. Because I realize you have some great educators that don't arrange. So I don't think that at all. And I think pending the staff that you're working with, high school or the collegiate level, you may have the type of synergy where it's like, hey, I want this, and you have the assistant director of bands that delivers it. But that type of sound, that sound development, that's on the, director of bands, and that's what he wants and what he's looking for. So I don't believe that one is better than the other. Now, in my opinion, I will hold the educator above the arranger any day, because whatever you're teaching that student, whatever you're teaching that music educator or that music major, that is the lasting effect of, that's what's going to last and transcend after the fact. So no, I don't believe I will, if I was in a tier, I would say educator will always go in front of an arranger. And to your point as well, I think it's very scary now, because as we saw, like during the year of COVID, We saw a whole bunch of, people posting their arrangements. But the first thing I saw was like, bro, who gonna play that? Like, not being, I was like, who's gonna play these arrangements with the state of bands in some of these areas? I was always taught you arrange for the band that you have. So my thing was, honestly, if we want to see a realistic competition, I want you to arrange for 2 trumpets, 1 saxophone, no French horns, 2 trombones and 1 tuba, and make it sound, really nice for some of the situations that's taking place now in some of these areas. So I mean, a lot of these people are arranging, they're not even getting in front of these kids to even teach what they're teaching. So nah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Rick. Arrangers versus educators. Does one mean they are strong enough to be the other?
No, I mean, I don't think the two are necessarily inherent of one another. I think you have to take people for their what their talent is. I think that as an educator, you can learn all the pedagogy in the world. If you're not able to work with people, you're not going to be a great educator. And I'm saying that from experience. I have met with some people who are absolute musical geniuses when it comes to arranging, who are some of the worst teachers I've ever had in my life and are not people. Like, you can be the best arranger in the world, but if you're not able to motivate people to do what you need them to do, your motivational skills can destroy your band. I don't want to get too personal with that, but yeah. So that's the first part of that. Second part of that is arranging skills. Right? Arranging skills can be learned. And I think the challenge that we're facing in most HBCUs is that people are arranging for what they think people want to hear. Like, I get so tired of hearing cross voicing in these arrangements. I don't know what to do. Like, these empty arrangements. Euphoniums, everybody, are not meant to be in third trumpet range. No matter how much you want them to be there, that instrument is called a tenor tuba. That is the name of the instrument.
G'sing up.
Right.
G's but a staffing up.
But
Euphoniums
I think that goes, I think it goes back to that idea of the chasing Southern thing.
The Southern don't even write like that, bro. That's the misconception. They don't write like that.
Exactly. They don't, but people think they do.
Yeah.
Somebody's volume's too loud. But go ahead, Rick.
Rude.
And look, then the person that typed that Jordan, I'm on your ass, Jordan. Is the main person that's typing that was the main one. I'll be like, Jordan. That ain't it. And now he's a hell of a musician. That's my guy, man. I love Jordan. But yeah, man, I just like all this cross voicing and all that. Like, and I'm gonna use Jordan and his euphonium section at PV as an example. I write my arrangements the way I think they should sound. I'm not writing cross voices unless I want the baritone to have the melody. It's two things between when you're playing a B flat major chord and you literally have the first mellophone and the euphonium playing the same note. Like, it just blows my mind, man. So it's like, I would tell the baritones play what I wrote, not what's going to be loud, and then also play with the right articulation.
Man, we said that so many times.
Right. So yeah, man, I think it's a two-part thing. I think that arrangers need to understand that there are musical concepts that they have to learn before they sit down behind a piano and say, I'm an arranger now, or behind a computer, like Julian was saying, and say, I'm an arranger now. I know a lot of people that still arrange from using the piano, and that's a great thing. But if you don't know what's happening in your music, like simple concepts too, like how to resolve a 5-1 using the 7 and the 3 of the chord. So you'll have guys that, what I'm saying, like those concepts people have never heard before. Or if I want a more interesting way of doing a 5-1, use a sus4 in the place of that 5 because it still serves that dominant function, like things like that. Right.
Function.
That same dominant function. Like, these young arrangers aren't learning these simple concepts that are like people like us, Mario, we had to like Miss Sanders won't have this stuff. I remember every day we used to Mario. You remember that? You remember that? And Miss Sanders made us learn that in every key. And I'm sitting there like, why is she making us do this? And now I understand, man. Like there are basic concepts that makes great arrangers. So that goes back to the educator side that Quan was saying. If you ain't teaching these kids shit, how can you expect them to be able to do what they're supposed to do?
Say, Rick, I have a question.
Yeah, man.
Not to cut you off, I have a question.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Do you feel like then, and because we come from HBCUs, do you feel like that's a problem in that a lack of teaching in regards of arranging?
When you were in college, Quan, do you feel like your arranging class was adequate to make you a decent arranger? How about that? Just decent.
Well, I didn't have arranging in the class. I took an arranging class for my master's program. So
my point exactly.
Right.
I'm not gonna throw no stones.
Yeah.
When I took arranging, I played piano half the semester, and my final project was to write a 16 measure arrangement of something. I wrote a 16 measure arrangement of "Yes, Jesus Loves Me." That was the extent of my course, and I put I put the chorus in there. No, it was sweet actually, but
your chorus weren't sweet back then. But go ahead.
They weren't. They were.
Smiths.
Right. They weren't terrible. They weren't
5 sample shit. Not even root position ass chords.
Yeah, they weren't terrible, but they surely weren't what they are now, bro.
Right.
So,
right. I mean, but my vocabulary.
Everything in root
position.
Yeah.
Right. So I just say all that, Quan, to say no. The answer to your question is no. Majority of these HBCUs aren't teaching it, and this is another topic that I know gonna piss people off. Maybe we can talk about this another day, Julian. Me and Julian have had this conversation, Quan. And Mario, we've had this conversation so many times, Quan. When I graduated from Norfolk State, I love my university. I met my wife there. I pledged Omega there. I pledged Phi Mu Alpha there. I met some of my best friends in this life, Mario and Julian, and my best friend. All these people, all these great things happened at Norfolk State. When I left that great institution, I was not prepared to be a band director at a high level.
Yep.
And that's just facts. The reason why I was successful was because the same thing Mario did, same thing Julian did. We gigged all over the place. I marched drum and bugle corps for 5 years, so I was around people doing it at the highest level. I was involved in things that helped me gain that other piece that I was missing at Norfolk State. Because at Norfolk State, our scholarships were based on marching band. So I don't want to get into that, but yeah. Quan, to answer your question, no, I don't feel like I was adequately prepared.
Okay, well, let me ask this. So let's say we have, typically what we do 4 years in college, allegedly, supposedly 4 to 5 years. Let's say you have top tier teachers, educators. You are put in all the right classes. Do you think that 4 to 5 year range is enough to actually prepare you, or do you think that it's I'm sure that life's experiences is going to help, but do you think that it is possible to be adequately prepared or very much prepared within that 4 year time frame, or do you think that simply isn't enough in general?
Can I answer your? Go ahead, Mario, because you haven't talked. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say it's just some fluff in people's programs, meaning that sometimes there's classes that you're supposed to take that you don't take, that they allow you not to. If you do this, then you do this. It's too much of a good old boy type of vibe sometimes in some of these programs in schools where the curriculum that's set up can work, but if you take the class, the professor's got to be there. Sure. If you take the class, people have to do their jobs, and the kids have to do their jobs to learn, and the professors have to do their jobs to teach. And just to respond to that, but then just to roll back to what we were talking about, man, I'll tell you, when I left Norfolk State, that was probably the thing I did the absolute worst. It's probably still the thing I do the absolute worst. I'm not an arranger. I've never will claim to be. And I felt it was an insecurity. Like as a musician, it almost makes you feel like damn, like I got to do this. And it starts to be something you roll in your brain. Whereas other people may be like percussionists that don't play woodwinds. I can play drums, brass, woodwind. I can do all that shit is comfortable for me, but the arranging was not. And so it's like you get, and then it's another part about it, and not to dive into this, that's the same goes for orchestra. Some of these directors get out, they have no idea how to run an orchestra or know parts of any of that, but you're getting music education degree. You don't know how to deal with an orchestra at all, and it's totally different. So that's a whole nother conversation. But do I think that obviously these are totally different things? I could be an amazing arranger, and I know exactly what Rick was talking about, but I ain't gonna dive into that because I'm gonna just leave that alone because we know exactly what we're talking about, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But you deal with a situation where somebody knows they have a great arrangement, they come in front of the band, but they don't know pacing and momentum. They don't know differentiated instruction. They don't know how to deal with special needs. They don't know anything about education and the real things you deal with. More special needs kids on the college level, more situations dealing with people who are super distracted very easily. And then you're writing preference. People are writing preference. So if you see a baritone player writing, he or she may end up writing more specifically to their instruments for the strength of the sound. People write to their strengths, like of the sound that they want to hear. And that's that chasing Southern thing that you were talking about earlier. People like, we put an imaginary sound in our band rather than the sound that's actually in front of us. The band that's playing is the sound you write for, not the band you have in your brain that you've made up, like that you create some amazing thing. Oh, it's gonna be like this, boo, boo. It's gonna be like this, boo. You making up all type of shit in your head that don't even exist in your band because that second boo don't exist because you only have no goddamn baritones or your mellophones is trash or you don't have any of that stuff. So you got to write for what's there. You got to write for what's there. So absolutely, they are not exclusive to each other at all. I can get in front of a band and do my thing. I may not be writing it, but I know how to identify those chords. I know how to put that shit together. I know how to do everything else that comes with that. And I'm still working to become better at that. But that was never my strength. And a lot of universities, from a lot of people I know, the skills that they have writing were not because they were doing it in their arranging classes. It was because they just was doing it on the side, and it just kind of got better over time, or it didn't.
Well, and the second part of that.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Right. Straight up trial and error.
I was just gonna say trial and error, and studying and picking different ideas from certain people. I mean, that's kind of how I really got it. Just trial and error, and studying, and yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Maya, and I really want to answer your question if y'all will allow me. This is a really specific, but it's really specific question, y'all. A really specific answer. To answer your question, Maya, the answer is no for me, because the education that we got in college, in particular as music majors at HBCU, is still based on a Western music canon. When we get in school, the first thing they're teaching us is the fundamentals of theory, which is consistent across all music. Those things are great. But then you show up to your lesson. Majority of the people that's graduating from these HBCUs are not going to be playing in the New York Philharmonic. They're going to be doing what Mario does, a freelance musician in New York. They're going to be playing at churches. They're going to play in R&B bands and stuff like that. Very, very few musicians that come from HBCUs even want to be classical players. Better yet, will get to the level where they can be. So that's number one. But yet, when you get to these schools, they're shoving all these things down your throat that they say you have to know. And that's why it's a great video, y'all, on YouTube by Adam Neely that talks about music theory being racist and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I love Adam Neely. He's great.
Right. If I'm going to school to be an engineer, while engineering history is important, I need to know how to do what's modern in today's engineering field. We don't get that as music majors. We get 4 years of music history where all we talk about is Beethoven. We don't talk about jazz. That man that just came on here, he is absolutely right. When you have to throw jazz, mariachi, all these other things in the mix, but all you talk about in music history is Beethoven and how great he was compared to all these other. You won't talk about Clara Schumann, who was a great composer at the
right, who got all her stuff stolen.
Yep. You won't talk about her like so
trash husband.
Right. I say that, Maya, to say there that as HBCU students, and I didn't know this as a student, but I know it now. Have been a professor since 2012. We have to train our students, starting in high school, that you control your education. Mm-hmm. You pay your school, you keep the lights on in your school, and you are going there to receive an education that's going to make you successful, not something that I think you should know. At the university that I teach at, they even have programs, where people can build their own major. You want to do something that's specific. We don't have a music theory major for people that want to be therapists. But if that's what you want to do, you can build your own major. How many HBCUs doing that? You show up for a dance class, and then how you not know who Alvin Ailey or Baryshnikov is as a dancer? So that's the challenges that we face, Maya, as music education students, is that when we showed up to school, that was the first part. And then the last part, and I'm gonna shut up, and Julian, Quan, and Mario, I know y'all can attest to this. The last part of it, Maya, there's a lot of people in the classes with us that shouldn't be there. Right. HBCUs, we want to give everybody an opportunity to be in college. The fact of the matter is, everybody ain't meant to be in college. If you don't have the talent to be a music major, we need to be able to tell our people, unfortunately, this might not be the career for you. If you can't dance, you ain't gonna make the New York, the Met. You're just not, or the ballet company. Sorry, you're not gonna make that. But because we are compassionate and we want all our people to be successful, there's people. I tell this story all the time. Mario, Jew, you already know where I'm going. Mario, we sat in Wind Ensemble one time. All of us are sitting there. And there's a percussion student in the back that was playing timpani. Timpani is a tuned instrument. You actually have to play specific notes on that instrument. So we going along, and Mr. Adams is up there, and Mr. Adams stops the ensemble like, what the hell is that? And so he ran it again, and we all like, man, that turned me out of tune like a mother. So Mr. Adams, he shuts the whole rehearsal down, and he's like, oh, excuse me, son, you have a B flat. Sing a B flat, because you're playing the wrong note. And he was fine. Sing a B flat. This dude sung Z flat, A sharp minor, upside down, inside out, A, B, C, D, E. Ain't get close to that damn B flat. And Mr. Adams lost it. This same person has a master's degree in music. So that's the experience that, sometimes people aren't meant to, no matter how much they want it, sometimes you got to learn to say no.
I mean, I feel you. Y'all want to know why I'm not a dance director, why I'm not a dance teacher, why I haven't started a studio, and none of that. I can't deal with non-talented people. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't. I'm serious. Like, hell, even at PV, like, yep. Some of the stuff that we had going on, I was not for it, but I couldn't make no changes. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I feel you. That's with everything. So
every band in this country, every single band, I don't care how good they are, every single band has somebody out there that's holding the
horn holders. Yeah.
I was just going to mention this because Maya said this. When you asked the question, you said, is it enough time? I think it's enough time. I just think the curriculum is poorly suited.
Yeah.
So I think you could get it done if you didn't have the Eurocentric version of education that we're supposed to be forcing down each other's throats at HBCUs or anywhere for that matter. Like, I just think it's other things to study. If we are in a build it as you want, type of culture in America, education should become more of that. And HBCUs, being that they're smaller, could be a strong sample size of how to do that properly, how to cater your education to the kids' needs and to their lifestyle interests, rather than forcing them a bunch of prerequisites to then have them come out and do nothing with their degrees.
I mean, and think about it like this, Mario.
Right. Right. Culturally responsive.
Mario, think about it like this. We were required, Mario, to take 4 semesters of music history. What's the matter with maybe taking 2 semesters to cover as much of that Western canon as you can? Because, I mean, let's think about it. We live in America.
I am
What you say?
One of the comments say, "What's up, gentlemen?" And I said, "I am a lady."
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Watch it.
You better watch it.
Right. Them curls is popping. You pop your way. But like American music, we are Americans. American music is more. Louis Armstrong created American singing. So why aren't we studying the harmonic language of Louis Armstrong in the sense of R&B, all these things? That is more directly tied to Louis Armstrong and Dizzy Gillespie to anything Bach wrote. shoot, the music that Bach and those guys were playing, they were playing on instruments that didn't even have valves or keys. You know what I'm saying? So
playing clavichords and shit.
Right. So I think your question was awesome, but I think that the answer your question, I agree with Mario. I think there's enough time, but it just has to be smartly done, and we can't keep subscribing to the same ethos that was there just because it came before us.
I did it, so you got to do it too.
Right?
Like, it's ridiculous.
Sound like some pleasure. All right,
But
so
I say right.
Yeah. All right, but
Yo, the Q's be cracking me up with that shit, man.
All right, so yeah, but it was a lot of great answers and great responses from that, man. We got to move on. So if you're just joining us right now, everybody, welcome to Talk That Talk, where we give unscripted, unfiltered conversations about music education, band culture, HBCU band culture, and more. Please make sure when you come in that you smash that like button. I got to put it up on the screen. Smash the like button. It don't take much to click that like button. So make sure you click that like button and make sure that you also subscribe to the network. We're going to continue to have more and more content as time goes on. All right. We ready for the next topic?
Let's do it.
All right. So we were talking about Rangers. That's really kind of how it started. Rangers versus educators, and I think it got more deeper into the educators, which is great. And I kind of want to continue on this journey because one of the things that I'm seeing, or at least from my anecdotal experience, what I'm seeing, especially in low socioeconomic communities, is that there's a lot of focus, and I know Quan talks about this a lot. There's a lot of focus in most cases on the high school programs. But my question is, have we forgotten about the middle school programs? Have we forgotten about the middle school programs? And Quan, you seem like you're ready to go. So go ahead, fire off. Go ahead. Let's go. Quan, it's on you.
So absolutely we have. And I've been a high school band director going on 3 years, but the fun, honestly, is really at the middle school level. When you're speaking about numbers, creativity, the freedom to just be creative with your teaching, because you got to remember, first of all, they're a sponge, and so they'll soak up whatever that you're teaching. First of all, so when it comes from a pedagogical aspect, maybe the method that you tried your first year may be completely different. You could revamp it your second year, and you can compare your results. But honestly, the drive that they have from what I've seen as middle school students is completely different when they hit the high school level. High school level, they kind of grown, like the old folks say, they be smelling themselves a little bit. It's kind of different. But that middle school level, when you put that trumpet or that instrument in that child's hand and you build their confidence with it, honestly, in my opinion, that sets the groundwork and plants the seeds for them to take that this talent that we call music to heights that's above and beyond. I think when you get to high school, the marching aspect is fun, but what I realize is most people shy away from middle school because they don't know how to teach. It's a completely different beast when you have to teach a kid, take this mouthpiece, put it on your lip. What method you going to use? You're going to do the flip up, whatever the case may be. You have to be a different type of teacher because no one is the same. And the way they understand and process things is completely different. I loved middle school teaching, loved it. And if you have enthusiasm and confidence, your middle school program is going to thrive. But I feel like we lose them in the process from transitioning, especially in urban areas, from middle school to high school, because I only could speak from what I've seen. What I've seen in Houston, they only really focus on drum lines for the middle school, and so you end up killing stuff later.
Okay. I was about to hit you with the Chief Daddy. Mario.
You can say Chief, bro. It's my nickname, dog.
Gotcha. All right. Have we forgotten about the middle school programs?
Absolutely, man. I'm in here in Newark, New Jersey, and everything that I do, I'm having a really rough year. I was actually having a long meeting today. I was yawning earlier because I was just had to have a whole meeting with a kid, and then another, and then another director. It was just a lot going on today, and I am starting these kids from scratch, man. And you get kids who are in the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade trying to start an instrument. It's like it's so daunting, and it's very, very difficult. 7th grade is to me already late. I think you should be starting your instrument 3rd and 4th grade. You should be already on it. Mac was asking, beginning band teacher was my first lesson. And for me, what I do, I always introduce the elements of music. Before we don't play an instrument, we talk about the elements of music, and I break down each one, and I use song examples to break down the elements of music. So, we talk about genre, obviously. We're talking about tempo and meter and rhythm and all this other stuff. And I talk about how everybody listens differently. And so when we go after music, we listen to things for our specific interests. Some of us feel like the beat makes us drive. Some people like melodies, it drives them. Some people like the tone of someone's voice that drives them. Whatever it is, and I'm trying to help them find their musical voice through the elements of music. So I think that young musicians, because I'm not training them necessarily, because in my school, I don't train kids necessarily to be musicians. I'm training them to be music listeners. And I know that's kind of like counterproductive to my whole process, but I know of a whole class of 25 kids that's coming in beginning band, maybe 2 of them will play their instrument after that year. So all the work I'll put in, 2 of them will come in, and of the 2, I may get 1 that they'll actually put in my class for the next year. I have 120 beginners right now, and I have 6 kids in my advanced class. 6. And of the 6, only 3 of them are actually advanced. The other three never had my class. They just threw them in there because they had nowhere to put them. So imagine if all the kids that I had middle school band. You know what I'm saying? So it changes a lot. So it's very, very, very difficult, man. I got classes that are way overpacked. And it's daunting. It makes you exhausted coming into work. So yes, we have forgotten about middle school programs. And no, we don't even allow band directors up here can't even recruit because there's nothing to recruit from. You got to build your own thing. You have to create your own farm system and hope it works.
Wow, bro. Wow. Maya, let me ask you. Well, let me state this. I've known, and I know that you have a bit of a music background as well. So I enjoy the fact that you're on the show because you can give a lot of different perspectives. You're from your musical side and your dance side. I know for a fact that I've worked in 2 areas that had middle school dance programs, but I don't see a lot of them in a lot of places. So when it even comes to this question on the musical side, but also on the dance side, have we forgotten about middle school programs?
Yes, and I'm trying to think of even when I was in school or programs that I'm aware of. I think it's only one school that has an arts program within the middle school area in the Dallas area. I can't even think of the school's name right now, but it's categorized as a performing arts school. But no, absolutely. And I think that the reason why is investment or lack thereof. I believe that it's more so of, and Quan, you definitely hit on it. You were saying in terms of an education basis or a willingness. I think people are going into it or wanting perfection. You're expecting to have a competition or a field ready program, whether it's dance, whether it's music, or whatever the case may be, and no one is willing to actually putting in the work. And so I think that that's a large piece of it. No one that 7th, 8th grade time, like you said, it's very sponge like. It's a very, very critical piece of the development of a child. and where they're going to go. Either you're going to make them or you're going to break them at that point. And instead of instilling the motivation, instilling the confidence, instilling structure in that point in time, people are wanting to have high school, collegiate level programs, and it's just not feasible. So if you'd have nobody that is willing to invest or say like, hey, I will teach these programs, then those programs are not going to thrive. Nor, and even if there is a program, nor is it not only not going to thrive, but it may not be a program at all because you don't have anybody that has the willingness to say, hey, I will place myself in this environment to enhance whomever is willing to learn or whomever is willing to be a part. And so from there, it starts from the top. In this type of situation, if you have no one that is there that is ready to work and wanting to work and put in that investment, then yeah, so absolutely they've been forgotten about, and that starts the lineage of downhill battle. That's what makes y'all's job a little bit harder. That's what makes that high school level, because at that point they don't care. Like they've already missed the opportunity to say like, I feel passionate about this. I feel confident. I want to be able to enhance my skills or enhance the development or the coursework or whatever it is. And at which point, especially when them high school kids, they got attitudes anyways. They're dealing with so many other things or what have you. If they don't have anything that makes them want to be a part, you've already lost them. So now recruitment from the higher levels or recruitment for collegiate or recruitment for high schools, it's non-existent because exactly what you said, there's nothing to pull from. So yeah, they've absolutely been forgotten about, and it's tough because from that point it makes everything else 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Rick, have we forgotten about the middle school program?
No, we haven't forgot about middle school programs. We've forgotten about the position that middle schools programs hold in the succession of becoming a great musician. I want to start with all these middle school marching bands that I see.
Where those at?
Oh, they're all over the place, man.
Good.
Especially in New Orleans. Quan, I know you know what I'm talking about, man. Down there, like these middle school marching bands in particular. What's that one? Spain. I mean, yes, ain't Spain one?
Spain in Detroit. Yeah,
but isn't that one that had a marching band?
Yeah. I'm just talking about ain't nothing in New Jersey. Not one. Not one.
So the purpose of middle school band, and I hope that brother Jesse that's on here, Jesse, or I hope it's the brother, but Jesse, I hope you are able to jump on, man, because you've had some really good insight tonight. But
right, for sure.
The purpose of middle school band is for armature and skill development. That's the purpose of middle school band. The issue we're dealing with right now, y'all, is we come from a different generation than the student that's in school right now. To us, most of us came from areas where there were very successful band programs. And as middle school kids, we knew we wanted to one day be in that band program. I'm from Portsmouth, Virginia. Everybody in Portsmouth that was African American had either a family member, including their mother or father, that went to IC Northam. So everybody at home wanted to go to IC Northam in some way, shape, or form. I did not go to IC Northam, even though my mom and dad went there for a little while. I went to Churchland High School, which was the core style band all the way on the other side of town. And I'm happy I did because that opened me up to a different side of band that I didn't know about. Like we used to joke on church when I was younger. But I knew I wanted to one day be in Northland's band. So when I joined the band at Waters, which was the same school I taught at when I started teaching.
I remember that.
I knew, that was that was the goal. I wanted to be in IC Northland's band. And then not only that, BB bought at the time. Matter of fact, no, I think, BB bought the band over to Waters to play for us. So not only did I know I wanted to be in Northland band just because knowing the other band, but then to have them actually come to us and play, I was like, man, that's the band I want to be in. So for me, I was like, okay, the only way I'm gonna be in Northland band is if I learn how to play this trumpet. And I had that patience that a lot of this young generation doesn't have. Because as I said in another broadcast, music is hard. It's hard to develop an armature. It takes years to develop an armature, not days, not months. It to develop a true embouchure that is free blowing and doesn't have a lot of stress in it takes years. And a lot of these kids don't have that patience. So they'll be in your band class for a semester or a year, and they're like, "Man, I suck at this. This sucks." So I can at least go learn how to do a computer or football or whatever. I can be Barry Sanders. So I think we're dealing with a lot of kids who don't have the patience that we did. Some do, and there's a lot of great musicians out there. That's the first part. The second part is middle school bands. Band in general, y'all, is a lot different from when we started taking band. From the standpoint of, I remember having to take the same type of SOL testing and standardized testing that these kids take, but it wasn't something where they were going to pull me out of class unless I like failed the test or kept failing them or something like that. Now they actually schedule classes around testing and stuff like that. So these kids don't see what we do now as a viable option to make money and have a career. They think that being a musician is being, the next hip hop star or Jay setting. I think that's what this dancing thing is now, where all these got these little dance groups. Everybody's Jay setting, or these are the things they see on TV, just like us. We saw Southern on TV. The Boombox Classic was huge on Thanksgiving. Like Maya said, Thanksgiving, because we all associated it with that. You don't see our style of band on TV no more. So I think there's a lot of different facets. I don't think people have forgotten about middle school bands. I think that middle school bands have forgotten what their purpose is. And then finally, I'll get out of the way by saying the job of a middle school band director is to make the high school band director better. If you don't have a great relationship with your high school band director as a middle school band director, you're not doing your job. You're just not. You're not good at your job, because ultimately, if you're not trying to put that love of music in these kids and actually prepare them to be in the high school, you're not doing your job. And I know some schools have better feeder programs than others, but if you have a feeder program, your job as a middle school director should be to try to make your high school better. And the only way that's going to happen if students are prepared when they go to high school. It's a shame that a kid leaves middle school and can't play the B flat, E flat, A flat, F, and C major scales. So like we said, there's no such thing as bad students. There's only bad band directors.
So I do want to. I thought about this comment when I realized, pending that area of that middle school, I realized a lot of middle school administrators, they go the cheap route. And what I mean by that is they'll just have an after school drum line, and I've seen it. I was teaching at a particular middle school, and I walked in they say they wanted a band program. I walked in the band hall. I literally saw 2 sets of marching battery. I'm talking about 1 set of Yamaha drums and 1 set of Pearl. I'm talking about they had more percussion instruments than Prairie View drumline than we had in the box. Like, I'm talking about, like, they had 14 snare drums. Like,
what?
Like, for real. And that's what the principal was pushing. Hey, you gotta get the drum line ready. Like, that was their mindset, and they thought band was a drum line with the dance team. That was their aspect.
But that's because they watched that same movie, Quan, just like everybody else. Like, when the only representation of what we do is a fictionalized movie, they're gonna have that same characterization. They're gonna think that we can put a band together in a week for a huge performance in front of thousands of people.
Because we're magicians, not musicians.
Right. That's where that come from. That damn movie changed a lot of things, bro.
And so that's one aspect of, revolving door about just drumline competitions and whatnot. But also what I realized, then you add substitutes. I've also seen schools where they'll say, well, we don't want band at all, but we'll offer guitar class because it's cheaper. Or we're just going to offer choir because we know we could just purchase a piano and then you do your thing and then that's it. So, I mean, I think everybody's, on point in regards of this middle school conversation. We've just forgotten it. People don't want to honestly put in the work to actually teach. and do what's right by those students, which making it harder for us at the high school level.
I would say this is my last little comment on this, man, is that you have situations like Quan was just talking about. When you have people who don't really care about what's going on at those levels, they're always going to try to find a scapegoat to kind of go the easier route to do whatever's happening. I know here in middle school in New I won't say in New Jersey, but in Newark, most of these kids don't play. They haven't had music at all, not even like general music, nothing. They just have had nothing. They had in the elementary school for like they played recorders, and then they'll see me in high school, and then that's the extent of their whole experience. And so for me, I guess I look at it like when I hear people even talking about drum lines, I would just if we had that, I'd be okay with something, like, you know what I'm saying, like something to offer the kids. And then sometimes you got this idea where you're supposed to be like, I consider myself a fun teacher. I think I'm a fun teacher, but you know, you it's almost like you got to go through hoops sometimes to try to keep kids excited. And that's like some of that stuff is not even sustainable, bro. Like it's like you can't be that person every day. Like it's like that's a lot. That's taking a lot out of you to be that person. Like I was just talking to my kids. I had a meeting on Monday, and I'm over jazz band, marching band, concert band, rock band, beginning band, middle school band, and setting up private and doing private lessons with kids in the morning. Me, myself. That's why I was yawning when we first came on, because I'm exhausted. I had to leave early because we was on this tonight.
Well, I'm glad we gave you a reason to step on out. You're doing something.
It's
good.
Too much, bro. It's too much. It's too much though. It's not sustainable and it's not realistic. And if I was a person that was in charge of the district, they need to do better. But this is what we're dealing with in Newark. I want y'all to see that. Let me see.
I can't even see.
Teacher shortage leaves Newark schools with 120 unfilled positions as classes start.
That's Newark. That's the type of stuff we're dealing with here, man. It's exhausting. Absolutely. It's exhausting, bro. Not sustainable at all. People burnt out before they turn 50, bro.
And Kevon, if you can hop on, man, I would love for them to hear your teaching situation. I posted the link in there, but go ahead. Go ahead, Chief.
That's all I got, man. I just wanted to, I didn't want to hold it up too much longer. I know we got to get out of here, so it's all good.
Okay. Rick, any final thoughts on this topic?
I think as educators, we know how difficult our job is, and I think that's one thing that we do learn in college is how difficult it is.
Right.
So I think that in general, we as people just need to do a better job of understanding, coming into this gig is not going to be easy. You're not going to make a lot of money doing it, but you have to have passion. This is the job that is specifically based on passion. So understand that, people, and understand what
yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. That definitely was a definitely great discussion, man. We really got it in. Really got it in. Okay, so I appreciate that. I got to put that one.
Sure, Mac.
Appreciate that, Mac. Appreciate that.
For sure, bro.
But if you're just coming in, I got to make sure I do this every time. If you're just coming in, welcome to Talk That Talk. Oh, welcome to Talk That Talk.
Hey, what's up, sis?
Unscripted, unfiltered conversations about music education, band culture, HBCU band culture, and more. Please make sure, man, that you guys subscribe to the platform. I'm telling you, we're going to have a lot more things coming up. There's some things that I got on my brain right now that I'm trying to put into the works. There's some things that I've had a private discussion with a couple of these folks on the panel about that I'm trying to put into work as well. So, please subscribe to the network. Whenever you see us on, as soon as you come in, just automatically hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button now, go ahead and hit it. We'll give you some time. But we are going to get on out of here. So let's do this like I always do it. Rick, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go a little personal tonight. Y'all already saw it probably on Facebook, but I want to say rest in peace to my cousin Louis, who passed away today, man. Was one of the biggest mentors, both musically and just as a person in my developmental years. If anybody had a favorite cousin, he was probably my favorite cousin, man. We were very close. He was like a brother. So I want to say rest in peace to my cousin, man. We love you. We're going to miss you. Support Black. Always support our people. You know, we can't do this without one another. So just know that we need each other, and let's stop hating on each other and killing each other and support one another. And then lastly, guys, just in general, there's a lot of great things happening for Black bands that are coming down the pipe recently. I touched on this briefly in a podcast that we did earlier with just Quan, Julian, and I, and a couple other people. But U.S. bands and Blue Devils Entertainment are partnering to form a HBCU style marching assessment organization. And the first couple of shows are happening this year. On October 30th, we have a show that I'm judging at Prairie View. And there's another show that's going to be in Atlanta the week before. So there are some big things happening for our bands. And the only way that this thing becomes big is if we support it. So if you're available October 23rd in Atlanta or October 30th in Houston, come out and support these great bands that are going to be participating.
Dope. Real quick before I move on to Chief. What up, Walter? How you doing, Six? You all right? You good? I just got to throw that up there. All right.
Man, can we stop putting all that alpha mess on the show? Golly, man.
You gotta know. You ain't gotta know.
Right. We need more of this Q-doggery.
You throwing up circle. We stand with 06 in here. All right.
We need more of this Q-doggery on the show.
Oh, we don't.
Bark.
We don't need that mess. All right.
Bark.
Hit him with the other tools, Brownie.
Maya, it's a picture. When we were in college, everybody else throwing the hooks. I'm just standing in the front like this.
You know, I know.
No, it's true. It's true.
He really did that.
It's a true situation.
I've seen pictures. I know. Listen, that's how, yeah. Anyways.
Chief, any final thoughts?
Man, my final thoughts is to all the band directors, young and old, man, because sometimes the old band directors are getting forgotten too. You know, in public schools, they have been working so hard, they're burnt out. They've lost their connection to some of the kids. Administration's giving them a hard time. They're at the top of the salary, so people are eager to get rid of them. And if you're a new band director, it's like you're trying to figure out your way, find your niche, find the kids that like consistently want to work with you, and get administration that cares about what you're doing, man. Just keep your head up, man, and know that this is how I live, man. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go as hard as I can do this, so I can't do it no more. And when I can't do it no more, I'm gonna go get another career. That's what I'm gonna do. So don't go and half-ass your job, man. Do your best, because remember, these kids could be your kid. These kids could be one of us that's on this call. And if it wasn't for somebody going hard with us and being able to give us an opportunity, we wouldn't be here either. So it'd be important to make sure you pour into them, because for every 20 kids you get, you may get one. And that one may be the next Prince or Michael Jackson or whoever else, man. So we just got to keep pouring into them as much as we can. When you can't give no more, get another gig. That's my 2 cents, man.
All right.
Hey, Dean Hill, Maya's band director. He was Roy Hargrove's band director.
That's what I'm saying. Enough said. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Godfather of Dallas. Quan, any final thoughts? While you're talking on mute.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Good, because he probably had to stay in that alpha mask. Go ahead.
Three things. First of all, shout out to Maya for matching her lipstick with a dog collar. I see it. Coordinated.
I say the nails, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I see it. Number 2, I do want to tell all band directors, man, I'm still young. So at the end of the day, don't be afraid to ask, bro. Like, don't be afraid to ask. I asked Julian some questions about some scores and different things on today. Like, if the only way you're going to get better, regardless if you had a great experience during your undergraduate days or if you were seeking a postgraduate degree. At the end of the day, you need to be asking questions because there's always room to grow in this craft. And thirdly, I'm going to have actually a campaign through the grace of God. Ebony Worthen High School has been invited to participate in the National 4th of July Parade in Washington, D.C. So we're going to start this campaign called From Worthen to Washington. I'm sorry, how proud you did. So I just want to make sure that we're going to be raising these funds because I want to make sure that my students have an opportunity to fly first class and then go see some of these HBCUs in Washington and then meet some of y'all lovely people that's in the area. So
Mario Chill. Mario Chill.
I'm just saying. So
support. That's
yeah. So I bless God for that. But nah, just keep supporting music education, keep supporting this podcast that's giving honestly a real aspect and a relevant point of view of music education and what we're dealing with on a daily basis.
All right. And finally,
what's good, Ma?
Maya. And he's trying to stop.
Good, Mom.
I agree with everything. Let's see. I mean, needless to say, this is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I'm happy to see new faces in the comments. The conversation is moving forward. We're progressing. We're getting a little bit deeper, and we're doing exactly what we need to do to put people on notice, to expand the conversation and to provide different perspectives so we can progress the culture where it needs to be and where it has the ability to grow to and aspire to. With that being said, put your money where your mouth is. We have to. At the end of the day, shit take money. Money makes the world go around, and for us to be able to do the things we do and make the levels and the capacities in which we want to see this culture grow, we have to put our money where our mouths are, excuse me. And if we can't put up our money, then, I mean, reach one, teach one, share a link, tell a friend to tell a friend. Any ear or any new perspective is growth. Any new opinion is progression. The visibility is progression. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. Y'all know exactly where to find us. Hopefully we can continue this for however long this is supposed to continue to be effective. So, yeah.
Okay. And, for me, all of this is going to be a couple of announcements. So the first thing I want to do is announce the fact that if you didn't know, we actually have a Facebook page, right? So if you want to go over and continue the conversation on the page, you can. It is Talk That Talk. It is on Facebook. So just look that up, put it in the search, and then you can continue the conversation over there. Also, I see a lot of people hit me up like personally, and they're like, hey man, I want to get in on the show, blah, 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 blah. I just want to make sure I put it out there. Whenever we finish our topics, you are able to click the link. I will always put the link in the description, or excuse me, in the comment section. And then you will be able to click that link, and then you can come in with us and you can have any comments or thoughts or put your opinions out there for anything that we've already talked about. So that is available for you. Another thing is we have the Instagram page as well. I try to keep that as active as possible. But we have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, so you can please go over there, follow those pages, like those pages, get in on the conversation. We want to try to keep this conversation up and try to get as many people in on the platform as possible. So if this is your first time over here, share this information. I'm always uploading new videos. Share it with as many people as you know, educators, band heads, get them out there, because I personally think this is the greatest music educator band show that's probably out there. We ain't just, looking at videos and hating on people. We're actually having real conversations here. So, with that being said, I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate the panel. I love every single one of y'all. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are interesting in your own little ways, and I appreciate y'all for supporting this vision.
Before we go, man, I do got one more thing, bro.
What's up?
I want us to all look. Oh my God! If y'all don't put that mess there, I want us all to get on our phones. Everybody watching us on Facebook, and I just need y'all to help me find Ken. All right, I don't know where he is. I need us to find Ken. I'm putting the missing persons out for Ken. I need everybody watching this show. Ken
It's
James,
stupid.
find him. Yeah, on Facebook, all that. Go find him for us, please.
Blaze Saucewood.
Yep. Ken, I'm
Blaze
gonna get a
Saucewood.
picture with you from North
Blaze
State.
Saucewood.
The reward is a box fan.
All right, we out.
We need to get Quan on